Hey guys, it's me again, back with another Defender Saga related video. Um, you know, it still amazes me to hear that before Netflix distributed all six of the shows, right? There were different outlets that Disney was looking to like who would they want to distribute the shows, right? And what's still what still caught my eye is that Disney XD, I'm going to say that again, Disney XD was something put on the table. And we all know what Disney XD is, right? It's for kids, but kind of like Disney XD is more of like the Cartoon Network for Disney there, for the cool kids, right? You definitely had your favorites, Lab Rats, Crash and Bernstein, Star Wars Rebels. I can name most of them, but just think about that. Just think about that. Lab Rats is a good show, right? I think it will remain the only best show in Disney XD because you could tell they wanted to push the budget with every season, and every season they kept getting better, and they got a little bit more grittier too. Might as well just make Lab Rats TV 14, right? That's the thing. Was Disney XD ready to put out TV 14 content? Because, oh my gosh. And honestly, this could not work with the Marvel shows. They would really dumb them down. And of course, just like with every Disney show, no matter what you're watching, the budget is going to be crap. And they're going to make them kid friendly. So, again, would have these shows been TV 14 if Disney XD was ready to go down that route? Because, again, with Rebels, it wasn't really a gritty show. I've mentioned this before, but there were some dark elements in that show, but it came on later on Disney XD. It came in the evenings, right? So if that was the case, yeah, I'm sorry, that would not work. Even Netflix back in the day had uh, better budgets than Disney XD because, oh my gosh, how would have this worked? Again, was Disney XD ready for Daredevil, for example? Because I don't think we haven't seen Daredevil in animation form since the 90s, as far as I know. Um, yeah, and it's true. It's too much TV for Disney XD to handle. Again, how would you portray these characters? Sure, I've always wanted a Disney XD show to be canon to the MCU. Of course, Avengers Assemble had to capitalize on the success of the Avengers. I'm happy that show and neither of the other Marvel animated stuff is canon. But again, how would have this worked? And plus, these shows, we would be lucky if they were a half an hour each. I did wish that these shows actually did appear in ABC because they were made by the same people, right? Um, yeah, there were so many factors to look at with these shows. They had to make a 60 episode package and all this stuff. It's pretty crazy history to hear and think about, guys. How would you guys have felt if both Marvel Studios and Disney XD put out the shows? Honestly, they would not be loved today because remember, those shows what made Netflix popular. And unfortunately, you got these really crappy shows that are trying to save Netflix, but really Netflix should really die. You got freaking Stranger Things, Cobra Kai, Umbrella Academy, Wednesday, Heartstopper, anything else stupid that Netflix has made. Just give up. You need to give up. The Marvel shows is what really saved Netflix. Again, I really wish this was something I could have looked into sooner, invested in as a teenager. I would have enjoyed the hell out of those as a teenager because, you know, because in secret, I've always wanted to get into more like MA grittier stuff, and these shows definitely held the right balance. Um, and I've also said this before too. With every show, because they're MA, you expect every single one of them to be dark, right? But that doesn't have to be the case. Sure, you could still have a show in general that like is still MA, but you can have a lighter tone. Like that's why I like Iron Fist too, because it kept the right balance. And as dark and gritty as Daredevil is most of the time, like the humor is still there, right? That's what the MCU is also based off of. Like it goes all the way back to Iron Man, that the comedy, because back in the day with Iron Man, excuse me, people had no idea like where they're going into this film. Like I'm pretty sure there was a lot of people that are expecting it to be dark, but when the comedy kicked in, like, hey, it works. Um, but with Daredevil, yes, he is both serious and funny in the comics, but for Daredevil Born Again, if this show is going to be MA, I still agree with you guys. He can still be funny, but it cannot be 100% of the time. Like what they displayed on She-Hulk last year, like that was the perfect example, like how you could portray both Matt and Daredevil like that, and yet he's still pretty serious about his work. Um, and correct me if I'm wrong on this, guys, but there was supposed to be a seventh Marvel Netflix show in the works. Like, what was it, like the Daughters of the Dragon? Isn't that what that's called? Like with Colleen Wing and Misty Knight. That would have been pretty cool to watch. Um, was I gonna say something regarding Daredevil again? Oh my gosh. um, yeah, I think I lost my train of thought, guys. I'm sorry. Um, Again, this is just like funny stuff to hear about, because like yeah, you really need to be careful how you need to display your stuff. Like again, Agents of Shield and Agent Carter was a good start, right? And I'm still happy to hear that Marvel Studios is actually gonna go back to basics with TV. Like they might be done making Disney Plus originals after what they've said. I don't know, but what is this stupid rumor going around, guys, that Daredevil might not be part of the MCU anymore, huh? Like, are you trying to raise my blood pressure? Do you know how big of a deal Daredevil is? Like, you can't do that. You cannot retcon him out of the MCU. And yes, recently I have accepted again that the Marvel Netflix shows are still canon to the MCU. So, because everything that we've watched as Daredevil fans, like from the Netflix show to the current MCU, like it would have been all for nothing. I still find it funny to this day, guys, right? That people are complaining that Daredevil should not be teaming up with the Avengers anymore, because back in the day when the first season came out, right? People were demanding for him to be in the movies, right? Now they got like they're like, "Oh, it sucks now." Like, guys, and I've said this before too, you don't get a say in it because you asked for this and it's here. So expect Born Again to be darker and grittier like the Netflix show. Um, the one thing that I don't like that Disney Marvel Studios did lately was recast the actress for Vanessa. So somebody told me in the comments a while back like why they did, because like scheduling issues. Like, you know what, you Disney, you could have taken your time to like reach out to her and just be like, hey, would you like to join this cast again? Like, again, if it's gonna be like a Ralph Boner situation like we had WandaVision, then that would make sense. Like, and maybe Wilson will have like he will still have the memories that he shared with Vanessa, but like she's totally different. Like, and in his mind, that's his version of Vanessa, if that makes sense. Um, because every time when I think of something like that, I always go back to season 8 of Ninjago. If there's any Ninjago fans out there, you guys should know this reference. And like episode 1 of season 8, Jay and Cole specifically explained how time travel in their universe works. If somebody goes back into the past and alters their reality, they could look totally different and not even know it. And with Jay kind of denying that he doesn't look different, but from our perspective, he's different. Like, they got a soft reboot, right? So you got to think about that. If you haven't checked out that episode, please go watch Ninjago Season 8, Episode 1, okay? Episode 75, The Mask of Deception. Yeah, good episode, by the way. But yeah, it's just, again, these shows would not have worked on Disney XD again. They would get poorly received. Like, how would you do that to the Defenders, right? And at this point, Disney XD would not have allowed the Punisher series to happen, because the Punisher is dark and gritty, and you're going to expect some gore coming from that. Like, yeah, I'm happy that Marvel Studios did not go to Disney XD to distribute it, because, like, oh my gosh. Well, obviously they would have paid the bills, but, like, Netflix, of course, they paid the bills for just to get those shows out, It was unfortunate that Netflix had to pull the plug. So the Defenders, they are still a thing, guys. I guess no matter what happens when the official MCU timeline book comes out pretty soon, I need to get my hands on that as soon as it comes out. And the Marvel Studios book that came out in recent years. That's the thing, like, how come Disney Plus hasn't put, like, the Defenders Saga show in the main canon, the main timeline of the MCU, right? Like if people are interested in watching those shows, like, go to the main timeline, right? Like, I don't believe what is... People say this all the time. Like, I don't believe in headcanon. Like, I believe what is true to the stories of my favorite franchises. Like again, with Star Wars, like, I believe that 2003 Clone Wars is still canon because it basically inspired the current show, right? Like, Lucasfilm just can't come out of the blue and be like, oh, we originally created their designs. Like, nope. Go back to 2003, right? I mean, I was happy to hear that Marvel's Agent Carter is still canon to the MCU. Like, not just the one-shot guys, but, like, they need to put that show in with the main timeline. Like, you can't just add the Disney Plus series and the one-shots. Like, you gotta add everything. And I'm pretty convinced, like, I'm kind of stuck on season 3, but, like, after watching Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., like, it brought me back to the good old days, and I'm still convinced that it's still canon. I mean, hey, if they're part of the multiverse, then that means they're still canon then, Ah, man. Freaking jaw. And then after Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., I definitely want to get back into Inhumans, because I remembered really enjoying that show. I remember that was supposed to be a movie. Honestly, they should have brought that show back, seriously. And Agent Carter. It's still funny to believe that Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. ended in 2020. Can you imagine if they went for at least 3 more seasons? Like, to have 10 seasons of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., that makes sense, right? Because even when I heard that the show was coming out, I was kind of concerned, like, are they going to continue on with the main timeline? Like, they, of course, they acknowledge the movies, but, like, how is that going to work? Maybe with the multiverse problems that I've been hearing, like, maybe it's to confirm, like, we're not going to continue this, like they're doing their own thing, but like I do believe that the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. will make a comeback. So there's still hope left. Shows I definitely do not want remain canon to the timeline is the frickin' Runaways, Cloak and Dagger, and there was one that came out in 2020 but I've never heard of. Isn't it like Nightbird or whatever it's called? Hang on, I'll look it up on my TV and see what I find out. Hang on, guys. Okay, I'm back. Oh man, I can't believe I forgot this name. Well, it's pretty forgettable, and apparently this was canon to the MCU. It's called Hellstrom. What the heck is that about, guys? Never heard of this character. Doesn't sound interesting, so why should I bother? I'm so happy I don't have Hulu. Marvel's MODOK, that's not really canon. It's more of like a comedy show type thing, but I'm not gonna watch it. I was pretty impressed with what we got in Quantumania, so I know we'll get another variant of MODOK. Definitely not him though. Yeah, just don't make Runaways, Cloak and Dagger, and Hellstrom canon, because it's so weird. Runaways was on Hulu, but they transferred to Disney Plus. Like, again, Marvel, if you really wanted to make the Hulu original shows canon, put them in the main timeline, okay? Otherwise, don't be wasting our time because we can't watch everything. And of course, the MCU is not for everyone, right? Like, sure, I watch everything, and obviously there's a lot of better stuff than what we got currently, you know? Um, but in conclusion, if Marvel really wanted to, like, Disney XD to distribute these shows, one, they're gonna make it TV-14 at least. Two, have a bigger budget than the all of the Disney shows in general. And three, do not dumb down the characters, okay? And don't make them too kid friendly, okay? Because again, that would have sucked, honestly. um, yeah. That's pretty much what I gotta say for today's episode. So, thank you so much for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed. Please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. Please turn the post notification bell, share my content if you haven't already. And tell me in the comments, guys, how do you feel about Disney XD being one of the studios on the table to like distribute these shows? Are you happy how the Netflix shows turned out, or would you have preferred them like kind of like in a family friendly way, you know? Again, I would love to know in the comments. Alright, again, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks for buying. May the Lord be with you guys always. Love you guys. Peace out, guys. Remember, Avengers Assemble. Alright, bye, guys.